Okay, this is Andy Lee Graham. I've traveled nonstop I should say I've lived abroad for 25 plus years in 114 countries. And today I want to talk. I went live at about 2:30 in the morning. And after I watched Candace Owens. Okay, Candace Owens is a podcaster. And she's something on she's with Ben Shapiro on this show, this Wire or something like that. And I watched one of her videos and I thought, well, this is a really, really respectable way of talking woman. And that made me realize that I want to interview some people, okay? And I want to interview a balanced bunch of people. And I want to interview only people I respect, okay? But I feel weak because why don't I know 10 to 100 women that are alive that I have a lot of respect for? I have a collection of probably, I don't know, 40 or 50 men. And some of these guys I've done a deep dive with, okay, which means that I watched them for hours, like Jordan Peterson or Thomas Sowell, or, there's people that I have watched hour upon hour. Elon Musk, I'm always watching. He's more of a 10-minute burst of energy, right? And Joe Rogan, but he's just a good interviewer, right? But today I'm going to list out 10 women I guess maybe I respect. And I'm being passive tone there, right? Why am I being passive? I'm exploring my emotions here on what and why I have problems getting married. Why have I never got married? Okay. I'm not sure if I can respect anybody other than Buster Spade. Buster Spade was a farmer boss I started working with when I was about 12 or 14 or something. I worked through about age 21 in the summers. And I even thought about working with him for the rest of my life because the more I knew him, the more I respected him. Some of the things he did were so amazing. He definitely he could fix anything but a broken heart. He was amazing with relationships. He stayed married about 50, 60 years, I guess. Everybody in the community had respect, but also he had a lot of enemies because they were always jealous of him. And it was kind of amazing. They asked him to be a Gideon, which is a Gideon is the person who gives out these Gideon Bibles. And he actually didn't become one because he didn't like to be a self-appointed person to be a thing. But one time we worked on his church. We put up this bell we worked in this bell for about a week. So he paid for us to paint, work on the church. He bought one of these snow blowers. It cost $18,000 in 1975 or something. I don't know how much that'd be now, to clean out the town of Orland. A guy that you really respect. But I want people to have friends that the more you know them, the more you respect them. And the women that you date should be the more you know them, the more you respect them. You should grow in a relationship in an interdependency, not a codependency, but interdependency. Relationships should be interdependency of reciprocity. Okay. I'm tired of angry people. I'm tired of petty people. Petty people are always putting a tweak on things, right? When they make a comment, they gotta be clever and they gotta tweak it. They're not trying. They don't realize that even when you're chatting or you're writing an email, it's much more brutal than in person when I can see your eyes, right? And if you don't empathize with that, I don't know what to do. You have to realize that it's all about tone of voice, right? Problem only one or three women have I done a deep dive into understanding them. My mother's one of them. Ba was one of them. And these couple women in AA. I never married. I always planned on marrying. I always wanted to be married. In fact, one of the reasons I took off traveling was I broke up with this girl, Yvonne, And I was like pissed off, right? I had a house 100% paid for, free and clear. I was a respected person in the community. I still had a lot of problems financially and stuff. And I go, why am I working for all this stuff when I only care about this stuff, the house, the car, the things, to give to a family, okay? And I met, I went to, I went to Mexico, Pia de la Cuesta, and I met a girl, Greta, that read one of my Tom Clancy books. Maybe it was a Michael Crichton book, but she read a big book like that in English. She sung a cappella so beautiful that guys would cry. Okay, I mean, I watched people crying listening to her sing because she was so beautiful. And then I said, what am I doing dating these rather angry American women, divorced women with 3 kids? Divorce is a horrible thing. And but I had went through a lot of alcoholic problem, and I couldn't erase this, right? Once you become a reputation for certain things in a small community, you don't get to erase that. The only way to erase it is to do a geographical cure, which is not what they recommend in AA. People that do a geographical, there's probably been 8 people that came down to Lake Athlon because I said I'm a recovering alcoholic, and they all got drunk. Okay, but they thought I could travel the world and not drink for 37 years. But this girl, Greta, made the U.S. women feel stupid and petty. But again, I had a lot of alcohol as a problem. I had bought a bunch of rental properties that were low priced, high return on investment. They defined me, and now I'm very protective of my thing. One of the reasons why I don't want to be called hobo traveler anymore, because people, they're brain dead. They think that I'm serious, and I'm going, guys. Why would I go to university? Why would I be in the Chamber of Commerce? Why would I start businesses if I wanted to be a hobo? I just thought it was a great name because when I first came up with that name, I was looking at how to make money to continue to travel. And that's what hobos did. They went from place to place looking for jobs. They were not bums. But people are petty and silly. Life goes on. One time at a cocktail party, an older woman asked, why aren't you married, Andy? I don't know. I just sit there. I was about, how old was I at the time? Probably 35. And I go, I don't know. Maybe I have a problem with commitment. And this woman in the background goes, obviously. I always never forget that because she hit me. Wham. And that was an arrow right in my heart, right? And I thought about, and I've been thinking about that thing, but truly, the woman I should have married was when I was 20 years old, right? And I had an alcohol problem. So until I was age 28, I wasn't quite able to enter into a relationship. And then I wasn't until about 32, 33, where I was financially, I guess I need to figure that out. I was on house arrest for a year. Then I had a no driver's license for 5 years. I must have been age 33 before I was even slightly in the market for a girl, right? I mean, that I could give her a life that would be a gift to her, right? And but I'm grateful that I'm a recovering alcoholic because I have emotional, mental, social skills that a lot of people don't have, and I have a way to resolve anger. And 90% of my friends that are over 65 are so angry at women that they group them up as a great big group like the enemy. And I go, we are never going to have, you're never going to lay in a bed and watch a movie and enjoy life and eat popcorn if women are the thing. Men going their own way. That to me seems like something that a gay guy should do, right? I mean, gay guys that want to only talk with men, that's okay. You can fall in love with men, but don't call it, don't attack the women on the way out, right? women have a right to be women, men have a right to be men, gay guys have a right to be things, transgender have a right to do everything, and I have a right to not talk to them, right? They don't give us that right anymore. We have a right to make the friends with who we want to be friends with. I'll never forget when Doug Adams asked me to go to a bar with him. I said, "Are you crazy?" I said, "You're a gay guy and you're older." And I said, "I want to meet women. I mean, you're like a thorn in me." He says, "Okay, you're right." I was laughing at Doug because he just wanted to go have some fun. And I said, "I can't go into this small village and get labeled hanging around with you at a bar. I'll hang around at the coffee shop. I'm not going to go to a bar." I had another gay guy ask me to go to the country club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I go, "No way." I said, he goes, "You're going to wear those curtains anyway. You always put on these little flaming clothes, right?" I said, "I'm not going to the country club and ruining my reputation." But I actually, he knew I didn't really care. But on the other sense is there is financial things that you have to do. And one of the things I have realized is that most people are so worried about their reputation that they think they can actually be canceled. And I go, "Canceled? How can you cancel me? I don't give a crap about your opinion. I don't have the only person that could cancel me was my mother. My mother canceled me one time and shut the door on my face when I was drunk. She canceled me, but she forgave me. But when you cancel somebody or ghost them, you're basically giving them, I'm pulling away from the table. I'm negotiating with you. You are doing something that is unacceptable." Um, Earlier when I went on live around 2 o'clock, the only I didn't have anybody say anything good about women, and I haven't really had anybody supporting the other side yet on this live thing, and that's sad. Think about it. If you really want women, you got to be able to say something like, "I love women." Okay, and I do. I love women. I love talking to women better than I do talking to men. Why? I mean, it's like, who wants to talk to a motorcycle guy with a? I mean, that's like brain dead aggressive, right? I don't want to talk to a construction worker. I want to have a nice life, a soft life with a bunch of people that are able to think. But a lot of women are really macho too, right? And they're very aggressive sometimes, and they have a more subtle way of telling me or you that we're jerks, right? But Oprah Winfrey is on my list, and um, there's it's universally a lot of the men are always, I don't know why, but there seems to be a pandemic. It's not the right word, but there's a group think that everybody thinks the reason to watch a video is to try to find something wrong with the person. Ralph Waldo Emerson, kind of a mentor to Henry David Thoreau, which I'm writing a book about, said, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds." And they want to say something that Donald Trump did 30 years ago, or Jordan Peterson did a year ago, or they always want these politicians to always be good. I mean, Joe Biden was supporting he was basically on the wrong side of this racism thing, right? On busing and stuff like that. Should I hold it against him? Yes, because he's a politician. Should I pass judgment forever? No, people can learn that they're making the wrong side, but um, that's a pretty simple one. When you're doing anything that is pretty much racist, it's kind of part of your thing. Donald Trump says really bad things about Mexico, and I go, "Yep, he's right." I'm laughing because you can say things about a culture without being racist. You can say this culture does this, this, and this. Men do this, this. Men are jerks. Okay, universally on the planet, men are abusive to women. It's like what men do. They do nothing, get drunk, sit on the thing, and they make their wives do all the work. I deal 100%, I deal 70% of the time with women in business. I very seldom deal with men. But men in 200 of the normal countries, they have traditional men jobs and they have traditional female jobs. But the females normally run all the businesses in 200 countries. So I can't wait to have a female president because she probably understands how to be less than an alpha male, right? And she knows how she got there, right? Well, a lot of men get there because of all different reasons. I have no idea how Joe Biden ever became president. I think he was an also ran. He was not going to conflict. Obama wanted a white guy that was okay, okay, and he got a guy that's okay, and he didn't want a guy that would compete with him. Because Obama don't deal well with competition, but Oprah and I'm working my way to this. Women cannot be the enemy, and I want men, everybody on here live, to stop making uh, women the enemy. You might as well make men the enemy. Everybody could be the enemy. Don't make groups the enemy. You don't make the Israelis the enemy. You don't make England the enemy. You don't make France the enemy. You make one person your enemy. And that person, when you make somebody your enemy, you don't try to hate them. You try to discard them. Apathy, the opposite of hate is not, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is ignoring somebody. Okay. So when you ignore somebody and you don't have any feeling at all, that is the opposite of love. Hate is still being involved in love. Okay. None can be your enemy. Nobody can be your enemy unless you give them space in your brain and you let them play ping pong up there. And they say, they set up house in my brain, they put in furniture, and they started playing ping pong. That's such a great visual. People are being regurgitated. You chew them out, you chew on them for a bit, then you spit them out, you chew on them. It's like a cow chewing their cud, right? Um, but I wish to interview not famous people, but people that I respect and people that are, how do I say it? I want to say man up. People that are using their complete name, they're proud of who they are. And this Candace Owen today was talking about how the black people were being, she's a black woman. She's pregnant right now. She's really pretty smart woman. Man, she's smart. And she's saying that it's okay for the black people now to be racist against whites. And she brought up this TikTok person that had like, I don't know, 40 ways to call a white person a name, right? And she said, this person should get canceled, okay, because they were doing racism. But a white person, if they did it, like we should be able to have white Pride Day as much as we have Black Pride Day or, whatever, Purple Flag Day. Okay. And she addresses those difficult issues in an honest and balanced way. And she doesn't try to incite anger, which is one problem I have with Ben Shapiro. He's very smart, but he incites anger, right? He wants to hurt the other person to prove a point. And sometimes I do that. Don't get me wrong. But then I thought to myself, if I'm going to go look for people to interview, I would rather spend 6 months chasing down one of these women than I would chasing down Jordan Peterson or whatever. But I'd really like your help, guys. If any of you guys know these people that the way you can find out who I respect is there's playlist on my channel, and I've put all the people. I will continually add playlists to people I respect on my channel. If I put a playlist there, that means I have respect and I'm willing to collect videos about this person as my repertoire of people, my entourage of people that I respect. So any of those people I respect. Then I have people that I would just like to talk about specific subjects, which is different. But I would rather spend 6 months being predatory, going with total manipulation, trying to figure out a way to communicate with these people. And trust me, it's very difficult to contact famous people in this highly dysfunctional communication world. I don't have a clue. I beat on the door of Warren Buffett's. I went to his office. I didn't beat on the door, but I went to his office and asked, how can I set up an appointment with Warren Buffett? And they go, no, you can't do it. I go, you're one of the richest guys on the planet, and you don't have an inquiry handling system, right? What do you got to do? Hire a public relations person? And if I call up a person directly, they consider me not important. I'm trying to hire a public relations person. So people say, Andy, call up this person. I said, no, the minute that you call them up, like, you're not important enough. You have to have somebody else do it. It's amazing how petty people are. But how am I going to interview these people? I'm going to create a Google Docs, and what I'm going to do is start with 20 questions. Okay, and I'm going to put 20 questions. So if I'm going to interview these, say, 7 people that I had: Oprah Winfrey, Candace Owens, I have to go through the name. I'm going to have 20 preset questions with the hope that these questions are see, when people write me, I want them to write me no attaboys. I want them to think of a part or an intuitive thing that I haven't done or thought about. Sometimes that's one reason why it's fun to go live with people. Some people ask some really good questions. David, I think, asked a question earlier. He asked the question, are there people similar to George Washington and Ben Franklin alive today? And I said yes. And I answered it, these are, muses that we have, but, dead people compared to that didn't have documented all their, right now everybody is documented by video on everything, right? And people try to find the one thing wrong. See, people can find one thing wrong with a person and discard the whole person. I think Malcolm Gladwell talks about it. They give a concert, and at the very last thing, there's a miss. They play the wrong note or something, an awkward note, and everybody. That's all they can remember is that. They can't appreciate the fact that they had an hour and a half. People weigh me, and they see me use one word wrong, or they watch even right now. There's just a pandemic. I got to get a better word. Everybody wants to talk about the gaffes of an old man, Joe Biden. And they don't want to talk about the speech. They want to pick at the one thing. That's kind of, I don't know. It's just not, it's not what a gentleman or a lady does. But it's close to impossible to get things. I try to get in touch with this physical therapist, and I want to interview him on back pain and limb clan and stuff like that. There's no way to write him. There's no way to write him, period. He's in Ann Arbor. I tried to get a hold of the guy that made the video, Poverty Inc., because I've been to Haiti and I've dealt with poverty, and I wanted to interview him in Ann Arbor. And he's just anal. He's just no way to contact him. And I'm saying this because people need to realize they got the door shut. I give my name, my telephone number, and my email all the time. It's hoboontheroad@yahoo.com. 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 Telephone numbers 260-624-4414 plus 1-260-624-4414. Why do I do that? I'm fishing. I'm fishing for people to give me a better life. And 1 in 50 will change my life. But I have to go through 49 people doing very, very selfish things normally to get to the one person that's magnanimous enough to work both ways, be helpful to me and helpful to them, and have the self-esteem. Seth Godin, which is a person I kind of communicate a little bit, and he said that he would allow me to interview him, but we had a big long conversation one time, and he says, Andy, he wrote me, he says, you're not going to interview Joe Rogan unless you're on the same social status as he is. And but how do you get there? And I was laughing because to me, being one of the world's longest perpetual travelers, I think that's all I need to say is I've been to 100+ countries, and I've traveled nonstop for 25 years. And that means I try not to stay in any one location more than 3 months. I even had to make up the rule. My geopolitical understanding of the world is thing. But again, until they make a Wikipedia page on me and they do all this stuff, but I don't care, right? I really, and I'm not going to sit here and take all this stuff and make it perfect just so I can talk to a person. I'm not going to spend my life maneuvering you. To me, maneuvering you is when I take and I stop everything. So anytime I said something awkward, I edit it out. I don't want a friend that requires that I cull out or take away or edit until I'm a perfect person, because that is not me. I really love it when people walk up and say to me, Andy, you're just like the person you're on the video. That is what I want. And I start these videos and I stop them and I don't edit them because it's not a way to find friendship. But I do understand though that these certain people made all their money by creating a personality. Okay. And they have to protect that, and they should. On the other side is I only need my necessities. I don't work for the luxuries, so you can't cancel me. I don't need that much money to do. And the minute that somebody can find something bad about you and cancel you, you got a problem. Okay, you got a weak link, right? But I'm going to try to start interviewing some people, and these. I need help, though. I need your help to try to find these people. I was an extreme. On these 10 people, I was extremely annoyed to hear one video about Emily Compagno. And Emily is one of the persons I would really like to interview because she's on Greg Gutfeld and she's on even The Five on Fox. And she was a football, what do you call it, cheerleader on a professional football league. But she's an attorney, and she's obviously extremely diverse. And if she ever gets divorced, I want her to call me. My telephone number is 260-624-4414. And I don't care how old you are. I'd probably date somebody over 40 if you're over 40. But she is what I want in a woman, okay? And this lady made everything a video. I've got it in this link here. I will try to, I got a link somewhere. I don't know how to, these links are very difficult to give to people. But this person made a video of everything you want to know about Emily Compagno. I'm probably saying the name wrong. And she started out nice, then she turned into a kind of an evil person trying to talk about all the controversies, right? And I go, that's not everything you wanted to know about Emily. You're trying to get on her coattail and make yourself famous by talking bad about somebody. It's insinuation, right? Subtle insults never stop. And when you hear a person doing that, I'm going to outwardly directly insult Joe Biden. I'm not making a thing. He's a jerk, okay? Donald Trump definitely has 20% of himself that is, he can't keep his mouth closed, right? On the other side is maybe 40% he can't keep his mouth closed. But you don't he made $1 billion, and anybody that makes $1 billion has a lot of brains. Okay, the media revels in insults. If you're going to insult somebody, try to take them out. Make sure that nobody misunderstands that you think the person is a bad person. I think Joe Biden and his family is a bad family. I think Obama, Obama, President Obama, I voted for President Obama, but Barack Obama was an activist and he was a bad person. He made racism a common thing inside the United States. We didn't have this kind of racism. We were getting better and better and better until Joe Biden empowered racism from black people against white. Okay, so here's my list. Number one, they're not in any special order. And in this link, how can I do this? Where can I give this link? I'll try to give it into the description, but it's got some videos, sort of example of these people. Tulsi Gabbard, she's the I think she's from Hawaii. She was trying to run for president in the Democratic Party. Then she shifted from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party because they got out of control. And she's just very well spoken, and she's really very willing to say the tough things, as is Emily Compagno, which is number two. She's willing to say the tough things. The tough things is like, we don't like, there's things that saying Donald Trump, if you would have kept your mouth closed, you would have got elected, right? If you would act more presidential, you would have got elected. Bill O'Reilly will do this. But Bill O'Reilly, I don't know. He makes me nervous sometimes. Number three is Nikki Haley. I'm not really sure what she's up to, and I'm worried that she's getting involved with some people. But I no longer want her to be president because she's not. She's getting jowls and she's not looking presidential. Okay, I want a president that is like Bill Clinton was a good president. John F. Kennedy was a good president. They looked and they had the image of a president. Tulsi Gabbard, to me, has the image of a president. Emily Compagno, she might be too beautiful. Okay. Nikki Haley, though, is the brain of a president, but I'm worried that she's not doing it. Candace Owens, she gets involved in way too many things, but she's taken on some really difficult subjects. She's dealing with prostitution and things, and I'm going to be listening to her podcast, but she really hooks in on all the extremely, I don't know, you want to call it link bait, clickbait topics. She's not really like Peter Robinson is in the Hoover Institute. He talks to people that have written books, and he really goes deep dive into it. He read the book or whatever. And Candace has taken all the trendy topics of the day, and that's sort of petty in a way. But she's really, really, I think she takes each one of these topics, and some of the people need to listen to these topics, right? Like, I don't really want to hear about transgender because what has it got to do with me? Okay, it's got nothing to do with me. I am not going to go talk with a bunch of transgender people, right? I'm not going to have to associate with them, right? But if they accidentally got in a conversation, I'm going to treat them with respect. But I'm definitely not going to. I told that to my friend Mike in the Chamber of Commerce. We had this Thursday thing in Fort Wayne where we got together like a cocktail party. He says, come meet this person. I said, I don't want to meet that person. They're extremely controversial, and all I'm going to do is have a headache, and they're going to hook me into some sort of argument. I said, I just want to have fun. Eat the cheese, have fun. Number 5, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is the TV show. I did look at her channel. It made me nervous because there was an overabundance of black people. Like she suddenly decided that everything should be black. But her television show was always very, very balanced. Okay, and she's very good at intimacy. All these women that I'm pointing out had an ability to talk to the camera or talk to the person to basically say that little tweaky phrase. That little tweaky phrase, that little question that changes everything. And you can do that with anybody. I remember on a woman on a date one time, and I just said, something happened to you. And she goes, I said, did somebody do something to you? She goes, yeah, somebody raped me. And it was her father. And I learned something about her, but the bad part is I lost everything because the girl would never ever talk to me again. But you want to be able to get to the intimate moment with anybody you talk to. There's always a genius and there's always a trauma in everybody. But I'm not sure that, I mean, Oprah Winfrey really can ask some poignant things. That guy, Charisma on Command, is a really good video about how to I gotta put him on my list. Charisma on Command, he basically takes out these little clips from all the things. I don't know how he gets rid of the copyright problem, but he'll take different actors and he'll show how they use charisma to on command, right? But Oprah Winfrey's extremely charismatic, and I'm very proud of her that she's a leader of both women and the black women. We have people that become the hero or the heroine, and you need a hero or heroine in your life. You need somebody that you strive to be like. Okay. Uh, number 6 is Shonda Rhimes. 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. This woman is the writer of all these, most of them, something like that. She's an amazing powerhouse, and she did this TED Talk where she talks about the hum. A hum is when you get that feeling when you're in the zone. And everybody should get the hum. When I was making my shirt the other day, I was in the hum. I was in the zone. I was getting a buzz. I was doing a mantra. I was getting the feeling. I'm free thinking. I'm no longer introspection. I'm in the flow. Okay. And she talks about that. Number 7, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's a Found My Fitness. She's a really, really scientific way of looking at health. She's kind of like the Eric Berg of women. Number 8, Mom Graham. My mom Graham was an introvert. She had trouble dealing with people, but my mom understood me and she wanted to love me and she wanted to understand me, even when I became a person that was despicable, I can't say the word, despicable, disgusting, and was alcoholic and, passing out and doing all sorts of things. My mother still loved me and she never held that against me. My father, a little bit. Most of my friends and family, yeah, anybody that, very few of my friends actually forget. They don't forget and forgive, guys. They basically just put it in the back of their brain, and but they got traumas, right? And they can't resolve. The Lord's Prayer says, God grant, that's a straight prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against you. You got to forgive people and you got to forgive yourself. Number 9, 2 ladies in AA in Midland, Michigan. The one lady was an executive at Dow Chemical, and she said, we're only as sick as our secrets. And I'll never forget when she said that, because I realized that I had secrets and I was covering up stuff and I was thinking that everybody was talking about me. And I made a commitment to be as honest, brutally honest as I could be. And I stayed sober for 3 years. I got drunk for 5 months, and it cost me 5 years of driving around on a moped, right? For the most of the 40 years, I haven't drank. But we're sick as our secrets. And that's when I realized the anonymity, the hiding behind something, is a sickness. And everybody has it, okay? Everybody has secrets in their life. But the number of secrets you have is how sick you are. And some people on these live things don't realize that when I don't see an upfront, straightforward thing, I'm worried about your secrets. That doesn't mean I care. I mean, there's reason why some people are paranoid, right? But you might be the richest guy on the planet, right? Elon Musk cannot get on my channel and start saying he's Elon Musk, right? Number 10 is Ba. Cynthia was her French name, but Ba was her Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast name. And I asked her to marry me. And I had a lot of respect for her because of the pure force. This girl was dangerous, as is Emily Campagno, Candace Owens. All these women are dangerous. They make me feel equal. I really feel that they could take me. And Ba was capable of bossing me around. She came into the shower one time. This is hilarious. In Africa, when they shower, they put suds all over their freaking body and then rinse off. They don't, but it's washing in a basin, right? They stand in a basin, they put water on it, and they put suds all over, and they put suds all over the kids. And I said, don't get it in their eyes, don't get it in their eyes. But she came into the shower and suds me up because I wasn't taking a shower correctly. And I go, Ba, please, but it had water coming down so I could keep washing and washing and washing. But that's how bossy was. She came in and I obeyed. But the men in the Graham family obey women. My father obeyed my mother, most men obey women, okay? This is the end of the list. A deep dive is when I really enjoy a deep dive research loading up on understanding a topic. And if you ever want me to do a deep dive on some subject and you really want to know my innermost thoughts on it, I would do this for $50 because I just need $350 a month and I could travel anywhere on the planet. I would have $750. All it takes to travel the planet is $750. But always understand that I can always go back to the United States and make a fortune selling real estate, okay? And I'm a very good carpenter, and I'm very good at a lot of things. I have a lot of avocations, right? Is that the right word, avocation? Vocations or avocations? Okay, I'm here and you're not, why not? I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm in Lake Atalan, Guatemala, San Pedro. You're supposed to hit that subscribe button. What am I supposed to remember? You got to remember that I really don't make any money off this YouTube channel, so I'm not really concerned. I'm really into having fun. I'm 65 plus, and I'm going to spend the next 55 years enjoying my life. I'm preparing to live to be 120. Got a really great chance genetically to be 95, but I could up that to 110, right? Without a problem. So I'm here and you're not, why not? Andy Lee Graham, hoboontheroad@yahoo.com, hoboontheroad@yahoo.com, or 260-624-4414. And I can never put these Jody Messina Heads California. They are copyrighted and they make it so difficult that sometimes I can't be bothered. Everybody wants me to think only about money. I only think about enjoying today, one day at a time. Okay, life is good. I'm hoping these are long enough that you guys can lull yourself to sleep, or while you're working, you can enjoy it. And I hope that I can get Jordan Peterson to realize a smile once in a while would make me feel like you're just not endlessly teaching me, right? Bye-bye.